vital signs critical.
If you guys are interested in being a member, then click the join button down below to check out the available perks. The first tier is only $1. Thank you to those of you who choose to join. What's up, mod squad? Welcome to another Division 2 build breakdown video. Before we get into the video, if you're already subscribed to me, then don't forget to smash that like button, as it really helps push our videos into the recommended section, which in turn helps the channel grow. Interaction is a big part of what helps us in the YouTube algorithm, and the extra support is very much appreciated. In today's video, I'll showcase one of the strongest assault rifle builds in the game for solo PvE and solo Dark Zone. You guys have already seen in the intro gameplay how good this build is in PvE, so before we talk about this build a little bit more, let's take a minute to watch this clip and see how devastating this build is in PvP.
That's what. Look at that. How the f are you not?
Yeah.
How the hell are you not dying?
Yeah, see?
Now that insane 1v5 came courtesy of Blue Rosebuds, a fellow Division 2 content creator here on YouTube, who also streams on Twitch. As you guys saw, he is a beast of a PvP player, and both his links will be left in the description below, so make sure you guys head over, check him out, show him some love for helping me out with today's video. Also, if you want to see a little bit more of him in action, then I'll leave some even crazier clips at the end of the video. Today's build is packed full of damage, survivability and synergy. Just one headshot kill and you're able to face tank multiple enemies and pull off 1v5s just like Blue Rosebuds. At its base, this build has 1.5 million armor and fully stacked is capable of reaching 2.4 million. And even if that gets burnt through, you'll gain 95% of your base armor back thanks to the Unbreakable talent, so you'll be able to tank mass amounts of damage. Now when it comes to this build's damage numbers, when fully stacked, you're looking at 640k crits to the head of NPCs and 500k plus crits to the body, which is perfect for shredding heroic NPCs. When it comes to damage against players in the Dark Zone, you're hitting 225k headshots and 130k crits to the body. This build doesn't struggle in the damage department. These high damage numbers are thanks to this build having 50% plus crit chance and a base crit damage of 195%. This means you can reach 253% if you stack both perfect versions of Vindictive and Finisher. Finisher alone would give you a total of 235% crit damage and max crit chance. It just means getting into the habit of finishing enemies off with your sidearm. What makes this build so strong is the fact that it's heavily spec'd into survivability, yet puts out more than enough damage to shred everything in both PvE content and the Dark Zone. It's also a build that does great damage both up close and at long range, and with a change of chest piece talent to intimidate, you can really make enemies regret running up on you. So whether you like to play aggressive and run a gun or be more passive and play from a distance, this build is for you. It also benefits nicely from its specialization, which offers both survivability and damage thanks to the armor kit and specialized skill variant. This build is perfect for all heroic content, whether that's control points, bounties or the summit, and as showcased via Blue Rosebuds, is an insanely strong solo build for the Dark Zone. In fact, it's not only an OP solo build, but it is great to run in a team as well. If you guys have any questions, then leave them down in the comment section below and I'll reply like I always do. Now we have spoken a little bit about the build and I've showcased some of what it's capable of, let's get into a quick build breakdown before ending this video with some insane gameplay. Right guys, starting off with the specialization, and we are using the Firewall. Reason being is it's not just good for solo players, but it can really benefit your team as well. As you can see, we get the Cluster Grenade, which staggers and applies status effects. This can help proc the Vindictive talent. Up next, we gain 20% burn duration. This is good for when your armor breaks and enemies are set on fire. It's also another opportunity you can use to proc the Vindictive talent to gain that extra damage. The armor kit on this build gives us 200% armor and 200% health over 10 seconds. This is probably the most favourite armor kit in the Division 2 and one players like to pair with the efficient talent. Every specialization has its own skill variant you can unlock, and as you can see, it's the Striker Shield, which is another of the community's favourites to use. Reason being is it offers both survivability and damage. The Striker Shield boosts damage against anyone within its cone radius. The highest I've seen is 12%, and if you're an ally behind the shield, you can benefit from this too. So team rushing with this skill is OP. Up next, this specialization on Armor Break applies burn to enemies within 5 meters. This synergizes nicely with Unbreakable. Reason being is when your armor breaks, it will be replenished by 95% and your enemies will be on fire, giving you the advantage in the fight. Players and NPCs struggle to shoot back while on fire. You can gain 30% bonus armor during cover to cover moves, and finally, this specialization allows allies to deal 10% damage to enemies that are within 10 meters of you. So a great specialization for teams that pack rush. And that is pretty much it for the specialization guys, so with that done, let's move on to the build breakdown. Right guys, getting into the build breakdown, start off with the primary weapon, and you have 2 routes you can go down here. You can go down the right of more survivability, which will be the Eagle Bearer, or more damage, which would be the FAMAS. Starting off with the Eagle Bearer, 91.6k base damage, 750 RPM with 60 in a magazine. That is a big advantage having that 60 in a magazine. And the main reason we are using this weapon is because it gives us tenacity. 40 to 80% of damage taken is delayed until the buff expires. All of the total delay damage is reduced for each enemy killed, while the buff is active up to 100% within 3 kills. So once you get this buff, like you have seen in the gameplay, you just go all in. Go straight for the kills. Run and gun. Looking at the attachments on this weapon, we have 10% crit chance on the scope, we have 10% weapon handling on the grip, we have 15% crit damage on the muzzle, and the magazine gives us the extra 30 rounds. Moving on to the second route you can go, which is more damage, and you have the FAMAS, 900 RPM, 76.8k base damage, 50 in the magazine. That is delivering a lot of damage at a really fast rate. Now when it comes to talent, you can use In Sync, which is one people favor in PvP. You can use Killer or Optimist. These are good talents to run as well. When it comes to attachments on this weapon, 5% crit chance on the scope, 5% crit chance on the laser pointer, and 5% crit damage on the flash hider. And when it comes to the magazine, we have the extra 20 rounds. Onto our sidearm, which is an important part of this build as well. Then swapping from this weapon within 10 seconds of killing an enemy grants 35% critical hit chance and 40% critical hit damage for 15 seconds. That is a lot of damage to be having for 15 seconds. On top of all the damage you're going to put out with your FAMAS or Eagle Bearer. The Eagle Bearer is going to lack in damage because it hasn't got a damage talent on it, but this makes up for it. Look at the attachments on this weapon, 20% reload speed, and we have 10% accuracy. Moving into the gear pieces now, starting off with the exotic Coyote's mask. 15% weapon damage, 6% crit chance, 12% critical hit damage, and 12% critical hit damage via a mod. Looking at the talent, we have Pack Instincts, which offers us 0 to 50 meters, 25% critical hit damage. That allows us to get to that 195% critical hit damage within that 15 meters. 15 to 25 meters, 10% critical hit damage, and 10% critical hit chance. 25 meters, 25% critical hit chance. So that 10% we're missing out on when it comes to our crit chance, because we have a base of 50%, it gets made up for over range. Moving on to our chest piece, we have a Fenris chest piece, gives us 10% assault rifle damage. I rolled it for 170k armor. We have 4.9% crit chance and sadly 8% headshot damage. You want to get another 12% critical hit damage here and bump your base crit damage up to over 200%. We have 12% critical hit damage via a mod, and the talent is Unbreakable. When your armor is depleted, repairs 95% of your armor. Cooldown is 60 seconds. Now, if you don't want to go OP with a survivability and you feel you could do without it, then you can put Intimidate here to do 35% amplified damage. Moving on to our holster, we have a Seska holster giving us 10% critical hit chance. We need to spec into a bit more crit chance because this is an assault rifle build. We have maxed out armor, 170k, 12% critical hit damage, and 6% critical hit chance. Moving on to the knee pads, we have the Name Fox Prayer knee pads, 8% damage to targets out of cover. I rolled these for 170k armor, and then we have 12% critical hit damage. Onto our gloves, we have Contractor gloves. We are using this because it gives us 8% damage to armor. I rolled these for 170k armor, and we have 10.2% critical hit damage, so not fully optimized yet. Finally, our backpack, our Grupo Sombra backpack, giving us 15% critical hit damage. We have 12.2% weapon damage, 4.7% crit chance, 12% critical hit damage, and 12% critical hit damage via a mod. And the talent we are using is Adrenaline Rush. This is what allows us to get to that 2.4 million armor. Whenever you are within 10 meters of an enemy, gain 20% bonus armor for 5 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. So if 3 people run up on you, that's an extra 60% armor. Intimidate is also a very good talent to run with this backpack talent, as more often than not you'll have that bonus armor, which means you're going to be pumping out that 35% amplified damage from Intimidate quite often. Moving on to our skills, starting off with the Striker Shield. As you can see, this is a tier 4. The damage bonus is 12%. If you guys have seen a higher damage bonus, then let me know, because I've not seen anything higher than 12%. Also, when it comes to the mods, as you can see, we have the 8% shield health. We have, again, shield health at 4.6%. But here's the thing, guys. You get the damage bonus of 5%. This is a max mod. Can you get damage mods on this side too? I'm not 100% sure. You guys let me know down in the comment section below. The highest damage bonus I've seen with this shield is 12%. Let me know if you can get any higher. Moving on to our second skill, and it's optional. When it comes to PvP Dark Zone gameplay, the Decoy, the EMP Sticky, or the Booster Hive will play very nicely with this build. I am using the Decoy as distractions to NPCs really help, and it allows me to pick up my buffs easier. Looking at the attachments on here, I have 7.5% health, a maxed out mod, and then we have 7.5% duration. The longer the distraction is down, the better. And that is pretty much it for the build, guys. So we're going to move on to the stat sheet now. I am not going to talk through it. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Don't forget to smash that like button to help us reach that 500 like goal here on the channel, as it really does help us grow. Subscribe if you're new for lots more Division 2 content, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Mob Squad.